Welcome, everybody, to Generation Dan, the only podcast with a sore back that's got 2 more fucking years till retirement. I'm Atlas Novack. I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino, the genetic marvel, and I mowed the lawn yesterday, and every part of my body hurts. Yeah, that's just one of those things. Our guest today is Jay Acquino. Hey, what's up, Jay? How's it going?
No, it's Jay Acquino. That's everything's good. I am also a millennial. So
And Dino's only seen that word written, and I never pronounced it for him, so...
Correct.
No, it's okay. It happens pretty often, and as a comedian, you just gotta work it. Like always have a joke. If someone says it wrong, actually, I have a joke where you can it's actually Jay Acquino, but it doesn't sound like I'm correcting you, but I'm actually correcting you.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
See, I'm Greek, so I happily will just be like, oh yeah, I'll just go for it, no problem. Victoria says, "Good
What's your
afternoon."
last name?
Victoria. Bletsis. And
Bletsis.
So it's Greek and only 7 letters, and it is consistently mispronounced, misspelled, missed everything. Hence, Dino, the genetic marvel. A lot easier.
I would definitely mispronounce that. I'll be honest.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what? Hey, do your best. If I got it wrong, that's fine. Hey, I have a neighbor that I've had for probably 8 years, who calls me Don. I don't know why he calls me Don. He goes, "Hey, Don." Now his kids call me Don. That's fine. Whatever, man.
At a certain point, are you just like, "Yep, I'm done. Cool. You beat me down enough."
He was like, "Hey, I need somebody to sign off on my passport because you need somebody that you've known for longer than 2 years." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. I could do that." And I forgot to look at his name too, so I filled out my name, and then I forgot what his name was. So at the same time, I don't know what his name is, and he calls me Don.
Funny. Oh,
it is what it is.
I will. Okay, well, the only name related stuff that'll be messed up is either people will mistake either Alex or Alice instead of Atlas. That's fine. That's understandable. Yeah. It's not a very common name. The other way is they'll misspell my name Novack, which is the normal way to do it. Like BJ Novack is spelled Novack. But the most frustrating, or Kim Novack, the actress in was that Vertigo that she's in, or Rear Window, some Hitchcock movie. But the most frustrating thing is when people reach out to me through email. You have to spell my name correctly to even contact me, and then in the email they'll spell it incorrectly. Like, you already got it right once, just do it again.
So I have a coworker who after I introduced myself and my name's Jay, and then what, do you have a middle name? And I was like, oh yeah, it's Michael. And then she's like, oh, I like your middle name better. Can I just call you by your middle name? And I was like, I guess. No. And I thought maybe it's eventually revert back. No, it's been Michael for the last 9 years. So I've been sometimes we've had other Michaels in the office have worked there, and then she'll call out for Michael and she means me, and then the other Michael goes, no, I meant the other Michael, Jay. It's like, what?
I feel like you can really make that into an experience for people. Just shenanigans, all that entire thing. Great story.
Okay, when you have a space with multiple people with the same name, I had a friend group in college with 2 Alvins, so we had to give a nickname to one of them. So one of the Alvins became Root Beer because his last name started with a W, A-N-W, Root Beer. That made sense. Or in one of my classes this year, I have 2 Brandons, so both Brandons get a nickname of something. I'm not going to say what their nicknames are because I don't want to give it away, but it's blank Brandon. So this Brandon has this thing about him, and the other Brandon has this thing about him. And they're like, "Mister, why do you call me that if the other Brandon's not here?" I'm like, it's just kind of the way I address you now. And the best part is it's caught on. Other kids are calling now. And I'm like, all right, this is cool.
So Victoria says Vertigo, yes, was the answer. Jim says, "Good morning, young whippersnappers, the boomers in the chat." Welcome, Jim.
What's up, Jim?
Victoria says, "At work, we have a young Matthew and an old Matthew."
There you go. Yeah.
When I was growing up, there would always be, I think, 2 Johns and 2 Chris's. And I think there's a statistic, if you have 30 people in the same room, there's a chance they'll share the same name, just because of something because that's what a classroom size is. So you'll usually have 2 things. I'm a big basketball fan actually, and the OKC Thunder, they have 2 players who are extremely good at basketball that both happen to be named Jalen Williams. They're spelled differently.
First and last name. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's like okay, who gets to be Jalen? You know, I guess the better guy. No, what they've decided is one is J Will, which is their tall center, and then their strong, good small forward is named J Dub, which is not easier, but it's just like, oh, this is the nicknames that we have.
J Will, J Dub. Yeah, or like I have 2 girls who share the same name in a different class. And one is one you use the shortened version of it, one you use the full name, and they also sit across the room from each other on purpose, just to be like, if I'm facing this way, I'm talking to this one. If I'm facing this way, I'm talking to the other one.
See, I don't have anyone that shares my name, and it's like,
no, you don't.
Weird,
not unless there's some kind of general, like an ancient general or something.
This is the funny thing is, like, I've told people, I'm like, so Dino isn't even my real name. It's just what I go by. And so I'm like, if you hear somebody in a mall go, Dino, it's me. They're looking for me. I am in the building and someone's looking for me. Okay. I'm like, now my real name is Constantine, which I've never gone by in my whole life. I'm like, if you hear somebody say that, then I'm fighting somebody, just so you know. That's how that's working out. Right. But the thing is, I'm Greek. When I go to Greece, there's
a lot of them
there. Well, it's kind of like, I don't think it's like John, but it would be like,
well, there's a bunch of popes named after you. There's a bunch of like Roman generals named after you. Like,
but it trickles down. It trickles. So in Greek, my name is Costandino. So there are people who will go by Costandino. Some will go by Costa, and others will go by Dino. Now, the thing is, like, that's kind of like a decision that's made out of your control, and then everyone just calls you that. So your name on, legally is whatever, but that's what people call you. And so I'm like, if somebody says Dino, I would probably be like Mikey, I think would be like somebody who goes by Mikey would be the not Michael, not Mike, but Mikey. So I'm like, it's fairly unique, but there'll be Mikeys there. And some Mikes will just turn around for the fuck of it because they're dicks like that. Like,
is your name the equivalent of like Anthony or Richard, where like there's a bunch of nicknames you can get out of it? Like, it's a very carve-upable name. Anthony, Tony, that sort of thing. Or like how Richard becomes Dick or Rick or that sort of thing. Like you have a bunch of different nicknames you can get from one.
You could have been like Connie. Know, if you really want.
You're the second person in my entire life who has suggested Connie. And I was like, immediately, hey, don't say that. Don't ever say that. Don't think it.
Never call me that.
And it existed. That's absolutely not.
So Dino, do you have any kids?
No.
This is like a question that comes up as you get older, if you have kids, would you give your kid your name, especially if you don't like your name? Like, I don't like the name Jay, so I would not give a boy the name Jay, but I do think the name Jay for a female is really great. So I would give my daughter the name Jay if I had a partner that agreed with that. But the boy named Jay doesn't work. But the name Jay with a E is really cute. So I like that name. But the boy name, no. It's kind of like everyone always thinks it's short for something, and then it's a constant struggle in your life. That's for me personally.
Yeah. It's not short for James or anything, or
no, it's just Jay. No, so it's
just Jay. Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, I could name a kid Jason, and I could call him Jay, and then it's like, oh, hey, you're Jay. But
yeah.
Would you give your kid name Constantino?
I would. So here's the thing: is like, I feel like there's like, so I used to have a real job and a real life, and I had like to fill out official paperwork because I was a fiduciary, and then like I also had to fill out additional work that was like, oh, I have a alias that I go by just so I could have the proper nameplates. Like, it was a whole thing. And I'm like, I'm basically a spy. So I'm like, honestly, I like the idea of how unique my name is. I wouldn't call them Dino, but I would name them Constantine. That would be, yeah, because I think Constantine is a great name, but also like it's unique enough that hell, my name's Constantine. I go by Stan. Who fuck cares? You could do whatever you want.
Yeah, you could
right?
go by Stan. That's a good point.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
Constantine's also pretty cool because it's actually a comic book character now. It's been a comic book character for the last like 30 years, but it's like you could be it's like that's the last name, but it's still cool now because there's a comic character based on.
That's my wife. She's like, I think Constantine is an awesome name. I feel like you are going to expel demons when you're called.
Yeah, see, there we go.
It's 100%. I'm like, I tried I was joining a organization, and my buddy's like, you should go by your real name because it's fancier, and this is kind of a fancy thing. And I'm like, cool. I tried for 10 minutes and thought I was gonna have a stroke. And I'm like, you know what? Just everybody call me Dino. It's fine. Just that's fine. Just do that. I'm like, I don't exist. I'm not a real person. I can't do this. It's too much.
I was talking to a previous guest in front of the friend of the show, Mary Kennedy, who does substitute teaching on the side, and she said that she uses her husband's name in the everybody call me Miss whatever I'm not going to say the name, but just so kids don't go look her up on the internet, because Mary's a pretty common name, so it's hard to track that down. But in my case, I don't think I would give my kid the same name because I already have a last name, that's already getting passed on anyway, and it's not like I'm. You don't
want to give him two problems. He's going to have one problem with the last
exactly.
name.
I hated my name as a child. I love
pretty much everyone gets their last name though. It's not the thing is you're giving a name. It's like you're giving a name. You're giving let's say Atlas. I think you're a very accomplished person. You are giving them the responsibility of what you've done in your life. That's another thing you're doing, and it can be a good thing.
They're their own person, so I think they should have the opportunity to do whatever it is they want to do with.
And it doesn't really affect things. Barack Obama is actually a Barack Obama Jr. His dad was named Barack Hussein Obama as well. So it doesn't no one really thinks about that.
That still doesn't change my reason for that. Also, we're almost 15 minutes not talking about the actual episode topic.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry. That's fine.
It's coming.
So here's the question though: would you go so far as George Foreman, where everyone is George? That's it.
That's
everyone's
crazy.
Just George, Georgina, and everybody.
I like that. See, I can understand my in my family, all of my brother and sister. It's only 3 people, but my brother and sister have the first name Jay. So it's not Jay, but first initial J. So it's John, Jay, and Jenny. So it's a nice.
Very. That's usually either a certain archetype of family, one of obviously not your family, but for white people, when they do that, they're trash.
No, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we could be trash. There's Filipino trash too, you never know.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or,
if I really want to
be
arrogant, I could
rhyming last name.
Braden,
Jaden, Aiden, just.
Oh, that's a good. I like those.
Yeah.
It's the same. If I really had a big ego, I could go my son's named Jason with a J, and then I could go, my daughter's name is Jamie, and then I have also another son named Jay, James, and then it's is he arrogant? No, it's just all his kids happen to have the name Jay. It's crazy,
No, I mean my sister and I's name happened to work up thematically because my name comes from Greek mythology, and my sister's name comes from Catcher in the Rye, Phoebe, because it's Holden's sister's name. But also Phoebe was a Titan in Greek mythology, so that linked up by accident, which was funny. Anyway, Burnout.
No. Hey, this is the wild part about it is I grew up with a family friend where all of them their initials were ET, and I'm and it was so weird. So the kids were Eugene, Ellis, and Edwin, and I'm all right. And it was just it was such a weird kind of thing. And then they had a cousin who turned out to be a little bit crazy, and he didn't have that initial, and it was weird. His dad looked down on him. He's you don't even have the red initial. It was a whole fucking thing. It was great.
That's weird to do a like you are born under a bad sign, but they named you. Like we made your like the thing where making fun of you for.
There's such a huge science behind your name and everything, and then like especially
what was that called again? Nominative determinism or something like that.
No idea.
Yeah, or like your name determines what you become or who you are.
Yeah, but that's a lot of people attach like the hardest part is to live your own life and not live according to whatever name you have or whoever you're named after, right? You just I'm doing my own thing. Nothing wrong with that.
The only reason I know that term is I was on a show with another previous guest and friend of the show, Nina Dicker, last night. And she was talking about nominative determinism, and she's like, if that's a thing, then I am screwed. So
Nina Dicker she's fantastic. That's
in a literal sense.
Absolutely.
So Burnout, it's a problem with people our age or something. I don't know. I'm trying really hard for once.
Listen, I think burnout is something that you have to experience in life, but also protect yourself against at all costs. Once you've done it once, hey, don't do that. It's not good for you.
I can't do that anymore.
Well, what I've always thought about it, it's very interesting because I think different generations and different workplaces have like different ways they go through burnout now. So like, maybe 20 years ago, you couldn't take what we call a mental health day or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's also like the culture. I think I'm guilty of this, especially like right now. I've been for the last like 3 months, I've been working a little bit extra because one of my coworkers is on leave, and I work in a small business, so it's not like we're gonna hire someone new. We had some other people step up, but I had to step in my role too. And my attitude was it while I was going through it. She just recently came back, which is great. But like my attitude towards it was like, oh, let's just keep working. Like I've worked long enough where I know like, oh, this is my threshold where I'm really gonna break down and whatnot. And if I can get to right above it, right below it, not right above it, right below it, I'll be fine as long as I know I'm at that level. And then like I was maintaining that for a while, and then not till my coworker came back that I realized, oh well, that was not healthy. But also like I could have done that for a period of time, and that's something I learned within like growing up as a millennial. That's kind of like as an athlete too. It's like you have like an injury, you kind of like, oh, I'll keep fighting through it, and I know when it's gonna get worse. Yeah. But it's something different now. Younger generations, not like in a negative way, but you can just tell it's a different attitude. I don't know if that's bad or good, but it's just something you feel interacting with different folks. It's just like they just have a different interpretation of things, and it's like especially like as comedians, it's like for me, if I'm healthy, my attitude is even if I'm having a bad day, I have to do a show. If I book myself because I said I was going to go there. And like, it's very unprofessional to not avail yourself if you're able to. But other comedians, they have like oh, I'm having a rough day, and they'll head up the host, especially if it's a smaller show. And it's like, well, that's not fair to the other person too. It's like there's a responsibility you carry, and your name has value, especially in this world in terms of like things that you've accomplished. Like, I don't want the name Jay Acquino to be synonymous with being lazy or being flake. Just
there's the connection from us talking about names.
I mean
I have never, if I've signed up for a show, I have never like backed out of it barring some sort of family emergency. Like there's a thing you hear about with comedians or just any actors called stage health, which is if you are sick, your body will be like, I will give you just enough adrenaline to go up and stop vomiting and shitting and having a fever long enough to do your set so you can go home and vomit and shit and have a fever until you're done. And I think Patton Oswalt has like a bit about it where he like, I took just enough drugs to make sure it was fine, and then somebody booed him once, and it immediately turned back on. The stage health was like, "Fuck you, I'm gone." And I've never had that, I've never had the like somebody booing you, not even in like boo, but just like boo, you suck. Like very sort of matter of fact.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've never had to like skip a show before, but I also have imperiled myself because of it. Like I have this bit where I talk about doing a show and getting a little bit of a contact high because everyone's smoking weed and going to get some lemonade from the green room, and it turns out the lemonade has weed in it, and getting even more high by accident. But just the sort of thing where like maybe if I was smarter or read the label, I wouldn't have done that to myself, but I still did. Like I have this voice recording even to this day where like you can like hear it like when I'm sober or at least kind of sober, and then like when it hits in the middle of the set, and I'm like, holy shit.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't think I have that kind of burnout.
But like you've been on shows nowadays.
Like, yeah. That what?
You've been on shows where people, it's like, but so and so dropped out, and then you can tell the host was like, "Oh, yeah, they kind of sometimes drop out." Yeah, and it's like it's not a generational thing necessarily, but it also does have a generational aspect to it in terms of like the reasons why. I think at least, right? I just interacting with people with different, this is gonna. I'm sounding like a really old millennial now, but it's like
no.
There's like a responsibility there. I'm running this show right now. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say there's ways of handling stuff, right? So say, hey, I can't come. And if they've done that before, like if I can't go, I'm gonna explain to you exactly what's happening. That's the reason why I can't. And I'm saying, hey, listen, life happens. I'm so sorry. And I'll be like, hey, I already called XYZ person. They are available if you're interested. I haven't guaranteed them a spot. I just told you because I don't know what you're looking for. But if you want, they will step in. And that way you're not like, I'll try and do that. But I'm like, if I can't go, I can't go. Yeah. But, if you just know, like I've seen no shows, no call, no nothing. And then walk in at another one and go, hey, can I get on stage? Be like, hey, man, you'll go fuck yourself. Right. That's immediately.
There was like I ran a show last night, and we were originally gonna have 4 comics, and one of them told me he's like I'm filming like something he was filming in San Diego that night. But he told me that a week in advance, like a good boy, like it allowed me to I was gonna go find another comic, and I was like, why don't I just take his time and like give everybody more time? And it turned out to be really great. No shade to that person. I'm going to have them back in the future. That's not their fault. There seems to be like a thing with younger generations, or at the very least, my parents and my sister, where if they're going to be late or can't do something, they don't tell you that until it's too late to do something about it.
I hate that.
And like my students, especially if you happen to come across this, it's easier to get an extension if you tell me you have a problem before the due date than after.
Yeah. Joey says weed isn't everything. Be careful. I had this one chick, 2 chicks go to the ER on my edibles. That's fair. Put your hands together for the very funny, hey buddy, what's your name? Atlas Novack.
That happens a lot. Yeah.
Dino bringing the no call, no show, one-time rule from his corporate world into the comedy world. Absolutely. I think people need to be held to a higher account. That's my personal opinion.
No,
and you know what? Because I'm not saying you can't be sick and shit can't happen. That's life.
Yeah.
But you're an adult, make the call as best you can, because you should. That's a responsible thing to do. And even if you can't call, if you say, hey, listen, I can't come, I gotta go, that's also part of life. But you call, hey, I'm so sorry about that. This is my house just burned down. I have bigger problems.
Or
I don't.
The show I was on with you where I was late to it because I had the time wrong because I'm an idiot. But you still let me go up at the end, where you're just like, I'm just gonna staple you to the end of the show.
Well, no, first, if someone else produces the show, my general attitude is whatever makes the show better, it's fine. My personal, when I've run shows, I was running a show in Orange County, and I had this person who was like, oh, I think I might be a little late, and I think I might be a little late. I'm not going to be able to make it, and it's like, well, just tell me, because I've done this various times because if you have a show in Orange County, you book people in LA, it's like, oh, there's traffic, etc. Which is, but anyways, it's like, oh, you know what? I'm pretty good. I think I'm okay comedian. I'll do an extra 10 minutes, throw it in there. If everyone does a little bit more, everyone wins, and then you get to go up too. But in general, it's like a culture of community, and when you're doing that, it's because your show's not just about you performing. You're the person putting on the show in order to entertain the audience that they're doing. It's also they're trying to put on a show because they're trying to build themselves up as a producer, as a comedian themselves. So like but like when you're thinking in those terms, you're not thinking about necessarily other people. It depends on, like, I treat comedy, and this is like the comment was saying, it's like you gotta treat it like a workplace. It is a workplace, and like
absolutely,
like in a workplace, you just wouldn't do that. You understand that there's consequences to my actions, but like also if you treat comedy as like a frivolous hobby, it will remain a frivolous hobby. No one will ever,
Yep.
Yeah. No, comedians almost always enjoy extra time. Yeah.
Oh, this is 100%. That's like the worst thing I've ever had was where like people will try and put too many people on stage. You're like, hey man, save it for the next one. It's fine. But everyone's gonna do 3-minute sets. Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not doing a 3-minute set. That's not. Listen, we're not fucking on stage on being live streamed here. Just relax. It's comedy. It's an open mic. Just calm down.
After last night where it was like fewer comedians, more time. I like that a lot. And especially with LA comics where stage time is kind of at a premium unless you're producing your own show. Yeah. So that might be enticing for people to be like, hey, I'm running a show where you can do, either 30 or 45 minutes as the feature or headline. I used to do a show in, not like run the show, but be featured on this show in Oceanside that unfortunately closed due to the pandemic. Shout out to Heather Zagoni, wherever you are, because I haven't talked to you in like 6 years. But she used to run this show at a wine bar in Oceanside, and every 6 months she goes, yeah, you get 25 minutes, and the guy after you gets 55, and I do 10 at the beginning. And that's it. It's just the three of us. And it was always like kind of popping. And I love that. And I hate that for LA comics, you have to get a lot of your longer sets outside of the city. So if you want to come to Azusa, June 27th is the next one, the next Laugh and Sip. I'll save it for the end. Let's keep going.
You had shameless plug on your bingo card. Boom.
Hey, wait, do I have it on the bingo card?
I hate when a comedian shows up for a later spot. Oh, I remember one guy kept on screwing me over at the first open mic I ever went to, and I would bring people because it was like, if you bring people, I'll put you on stage. And I'm like, cool. Me being thinking like, hey man, I'll go up whenever, after the important people are gone. That's fair. I'm new. I understand that. And then you'll throw me up and I'll stay for a couple more and then fuck off. Cool. No, I'm going to go dead fucking last until there's no goddamn audience but the people I brought. And I was like, okay. And then I was producing a show and he's like, hey, can I jump on? I'm like, oh yeah, I could put you on the list. He goes, no, can I just jump on right now? I'm like, oh, no. You other people have been waiting. So they get to go up. And he's like, yeah, but I want to go up right now. I'm like, I'll put you on the list, man. It's cool. If you're here, great. If you're not, that's okay. We'll just shut it down. It's fine. And he was just like, oh, do you know who I am? And I'm like, I know exactly who you are, and I don't care. It doesn't make a difference to me. That's very like, it's a job. If you're not making the audience laugh, if you're not doing that kind of stuff, you didn't do your job right? Like, and I'm not saying that's all your responsibility, but hey man, if I saw, like, I've seen comics where the audience turns on them and they're like, you know what? And I'm like, I've seen you recover from this. I've seen you do it a million times. It's part of the profession. And they're like, you know what? Fuck this place. Fuck you. Fuck. And you're just like, man, listen, that's not cool. You fucked over everyone else's night, It's a job, right? Yeah. If you don't do your job well, which happens, failures happen. That's how you learn. But if you purposefully fucking, I saw a guy go, man, I killed it. I'm like, you walked half of the audience. He's like, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Sorry.
I burned out the audience. It's great. No.
Yeah.
I wanted to also talk about like the burnout we've experienced in non-comedy spaces because non-comics also listen to this show. So Jay, have you ever like worked jobs where you're just like, I'm done with this and fuck all of you?
So I've never been. That's the thing. I've been fired from jobs, but I've never quit a job because I've been burnt out. I've always stuck around. My first job, I worked at SeaWorld, and I remember, it's cool because I was going to college after I had worked, and I was working there part time. It was my first job. I was like maybe 20 at the end of it, so I worked there from 18 to 20, and then like my last day, I was kind of like, oh, actually. Anything that happens, it doesn't matter because I'm getting paid anyway. So, and I mean, as many people as they want can go in the show. There's a piece of trash. Okay, I guess today I'm not going to go above it. I'm just going to let it go. And then I remember there was one person, I closed the show right on them because it was like my last thing. They used to have this thing. I don't know if they still do, called the 4D Theater, and it showed Elmo, and you put on the 3D glasses. And then, like, I remember I closed the thing on a person because, like, I had to close it. You have to close it once the show's about to start. You can't have any more people. And there's always people rushing to get to the next show. And I closed it right in front of her. And then she was like, you know what? Let me get your name. I'm write you up to your supervisor. Like, hey, here's my name. Here's my badge. You can write it all down and let them know, hey, this guy should never, ever work here ever again. And I guess that whatever that lady did worked out because I have not worked at SeaWorld in 16 years. So she won at the end.
I love the idea of like you having the same energy as the guy who's like clearly going to come back and trash the office, where it's like, let me get your badge number. I'm telling your manager. Yep, here you go. I'm not even going to be in the land of the living. What? Nothing.
No, going back to your point, I've always stuck it out at jobs for the most part.
Yeah, I quit 2 jobs, but that's just because I had other jobs taking up more time, and I'm like, they pay better. I gotta go. This has been great. Really I've enjoyed it. Like
burnout.
Yeah.
The only thing I've quit due to burnout was I used to work at a dog groomer, and I'm not going to say the name of the dog groomer, but it was a guy and his mom who ran the place, and it had very like edible overtones every day at work. It was a little weird. This was during my gap year between high school and college, and I was like, I will find something else. You guys are weirding me out. Bye.
Edible overdone. I thought you were talking about when we were talking about like, edible. Oh, that sounds fun. No, edible.
Yeah. I had the same experience, Jay. I was just like, yeah. No, that's not. That's
obviously nothing happened, but it was just like, this is weirding me out. I'm like,
how do you know you stopped working there? Because something could have happened. You don't know.
The establishment is still there because it was in my mom's neighborhood. So anytime I go visit her, I'll like go by it and be like, okay, it's still alive, so it's still a business.
Still alive.
Listen, summer's coming. You're gonna have some time off. You can get a new camera, maybe have just do a little spy work. You need hobbies during the summertime.
I'm good. If I'm gonna do anything in the summer that has to do with my mom's neighborhood, it's gonna be like what I described before, Jay. There is a retail space in my mom's neighborhood that never stays open for longer than 6 months. It always goes out of business and becomes a new thing. And I told my mom, tell me the next time it gets rented so I can put on a Grim Reaper costume and go in and just be like, you bought a cursed retail space, and then leave.
Okay.
The clock has begun.
What?
So if you I'm assuming it's just a halfway joke, but if you did that, would you make content out of it? Like you'd
probably
record your
I'd probably just like stick my right now there's not really anything, there's nothing there, and across the street from it is a business park they're tearing down and turning into apartments, and my mom is not happy about it. She's like, all the people are gonna bring their cars. I'm like, Mom, you are next to a rail line. Not all of them are gonna bring their cars, I bet. Also, you live in a pretty bikeable area, so I don't think it's gonna be like immediately all cars all the time.
Listen, there's a person out there who just said, "Hey, there's a building go up. They're gonna need more food spaces. I'm gonna open up something again."
Yes, and I will be there with the Grim Reaper costume for when that moment arises.
You should give them like a calendar, but it only is the next 6 months, and be like, "Hey, you guys are gonna need this. Not much else."
That's very like Beetlejuice energy. I like it. That's
yeah. And I feel like you should trip coming into the place and just be like, "Oh, sorry guys, I've been here a lot. Wanted to give you a calendar. This is what you need. I wish you the best."
No,
I think if I'm gonna get like me tripping and handing the calendar, I need somebody else with the camera. Yes. I'm gonna need somebody else to be like go in there before me. Usually it's a restaurant. It's been like a nail salon and a couple things like that a couple times, but it's almost always a restaurant. And just sit down and be like, okay, I'm recording the door in 30 seconds. Come in. Like I need one of those, I think.
Yeah. You need sometimes what they call partner in crime.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go into a Ralph or Vaunt and I forget which one I'm in. So I'm like, oh, which one is that? If you go into that restaurant, that place, you're like, oh, this is the nail salon. Oh no, it's the restaurant. Shoot, I forgot.
Yeah. Is it the sushi place? No, it's a pizza place. It's the nail salon. It's the Chipotle knockoff. What are you again? Like
Jim Eaton says, when cremation workers get burned out, it's always bad.
It's always bad.
Jesus.
That's good.
Yeah. All right, put me in.
Horrible. I feel like there's a lot to be experienced in burnout. Like I think there's like so many different reasons for it that I think that's the smartest thing to do is if something if you stop enjoying what you're doing, you just leave. Just, hey, I gotta go find something else.
That's something I do have always to give Gen Z props for is like a lot of them are like, you're quitting your job, but not another one lined up. They're like, fuck this place. This sucks. I'm leaving. And I think because like millennials, we value stability a lot due to, coming up during like you come out of college during the recession or in the immediate after part, or for the oldest Gen Z, youngest millennials is like right before Trump happens. It's just like a shitty time to be alive and an adult. So I think a lot of them are just like any job I can have that I can hang on to would be good.
Yeah. Well, you're the last generation that thinks that if I just hold on to this as tight as possible, it's not going to collapse, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the following generations are like, oh, I'm riding this shit like a slide at fucking Wonderland. Just I'm going. Okay, it's happening whether you like it or not. So you know what? I might as well enjoy myself. And I don't disagree with that. Right?
That's one of the reasons. Like, I hear a lot of stuff about like, okay, teaching causes a lot of burnout, and a lot of me is like, I know what it is I need to be doing. And it comes with really good health insurance, and there is a like trajectory I can be on, and I get summers off. Pretty great, actually.
Well, going back, with your teacher, it's kind of blends into like my career, which is I work at a nonprofit. So there's a lot of nonprofit related burnout because people who work in that space, they're working in that space specifically to work in that community or work in that type of field. So there's a maybe sometimes it's inferred, level of I'm going to do a little bit extra because I care about the work that I'm doing. I think with teachers that happens often. My cousin's a teacher, and there's always you can tell, she's doing a little bit extra for her kids. Like earlier this week, she was she's also my roommate. She was making crayon whales for the kids, like legit crayon. Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of extra work because like she bakes it all together and then it's in a mold, and that's not something you do if you just like if you just worked as an office manager. Not that I don't care about my job, obviously, but you wouldn't go, I'm gonna make everybody whale crayons for everyone I work with or all of my members I work with. Like, nah, that's not necessarily.
Okay, but like, let's just say you did that for your coworkers and handed them out. Kind of legendary. Also, you're like, hey, I felt like everybody need these whale crayons. Take that with you as you will. Just take it as you do. Fine.
One time I made lumpia for my coworkers, and I am not a cook. I just, I use a lot of YouTube. I made lumpia, and they would just ask about for it for like a good 5 years. Like, oh, Jay, by the way, have you thought about making lumpia anytime?
I love the idea of like people who got hired after you made lumpia who are like, hey, is he going to make the lumpia? And you weren't even here when he made it. Yeah, but it's
the legend. Jim says, I stayed at my last job for 25 years, wanted to quit often. Oh, definitely. I feel that's the worst part is when you know how the sausage is made, you're like, I don't want this sausage. Go fuck yourself. Like, it's just, you get to a point where you're just fed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially if like you, when you see behind the curtain and you're just like, it just never, like I used to be a financial planner. I saw behind the curtain many a times. And I was like, you know what? I just fell out of love with it. I'm like, you guys are all monsters. It's the whole lot of you, this whole system. You are all horrible people. I'm out, And it was, my life has been a roller coaster since, but I'll tell you, it's been fun. So, they're on.
I love like I every couple days, like a couple times a week, I go eat lunch with this group of 3 teachers who have been teaching for at least 10 years apiece. So like one of them over 20. And I love just sitting there and watching them talk because they know how the sausage is made. They've been here. And especially they've been here through like multiple cycles of like, this is the new thing we're doing that they phase out after a year or something like that. I'm like, it kind of keeps me grounded where I'm like, you guys are in the midst of burnout. And I'm kind of just like, okay, this keeps me from getting too like dazzled by whatever it is that they're trying to have us do or have us teach or whatever. And they're just like,
because the core.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say the core of teaching remains the same, but there's always the administration that has an idea or the rules that you have to follow in terms of your district or whatever your body of government is. That changes, but the core of teaching doesn't change. So as long as you enjoy that, that's great. And then the other stuff is like it's like extra work. It's like the traveling part of it. Like I have to, not traveling, but like just the extra stuff that they make you do. That's not teaching necessarily. If you have to implement this test or,
and they're like, they said if you hate something that they're making you do, like wait a year. It'll probably get phased out. Which it kind of reminds me of like certain places in the US where you go there and you're like, if wow, it's looking rainy today. Wait 5 minutes, it'll change. Like those people.
But that's the weird thing where like you learn that working in a company or being a teacher, you're in an organization, you start to learn that you're like, oh, I'm going to do what I do. I don't really care about the rest. If you're like, oh, this is our new thing, I don't care. Just let me do my job. Let me do my job because I do it well. And that people hated me for that because I was successful, but also I was like, yeah, I'm successful, but also I'm, just doing my job. I don't do what your flavor of the month I could give a shit about, right? And that's why, like, for teachers will do stuff. They're like, I know this is going to benefit the education I'm trying to provide. So I'll sacrifice my time and invest it there. And you're going, yeah, that's a good thing to do, but you shouldn't have to fucking do that, right? That should be part of the job. Be like, hey, there's extra, petty cash for you to buy fucking crayons for the kids. God damn it. Like, it's crazy.
Or this is the first year in my entire career that I'm teaching the same grade level from year to year. Going from like one year to the next, I've always had at least one new grade that I've had to teach and start from scratch. And finally, I have something to work off of from one year to the next. And I'm ecstatic about it. And I think that's like one of the good things about being in teaching is you can be like, all right, getting the worksheet from 1997, changing the year at the top. And like that does so much, like just having the infrastructure of being around long enough to then make use of it in.
It's also the internal infrastructure you have personally. It's like, I understand how this job works. That's a lot of times when people stay when they should leave in terms of a job. It's like, I understand like what this job expects of me too. I understand, the parts where I can sort of, devote less energy to it and not be dinged for it. But at the same time, this is the parts where I'm really passionate about. It's like that's also part of the thing of finding balance in terms, at least in my opinion, where it's you understand your rhythm, how you work with others. That's another thing about different workplaces. Like I would, it'd be I would really I haven't been in this situation before, but I can't imagine quitting because I dislike someone unless they were my boss, because it's like letting someone win. But even then, it's just like if as long as I do my job, it's not gonna affect me. And that's of course if you had like a negative experience where they interacted with it that was improper, that's different. But like all to say, it's like I think I don't necessarily I agree, Dino, in terms of like you should quit any job where it's not it's not giving the same things as before. But at the same time, I think as adults we all have to be conscious of like there's ways that you have to be considerate of things, and like if you can't or if you need to work through it, there's a way that like here's how I work through this job. And like Atlas was talking about mental health support, or just having a support network in general of people, or having material for your stand-up. Whichever one that works out.
Like, and we here at Generation Dan are proponents of both doing stand-up comedy and going to therapy. It's like wiping your ass for your brain. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. No, but the whole idea is like, hey, if something's going wrong at your work, you should speak up, talk to your manager, say, hey, I don't like the way this is working. This isn't working for me. This is causing problems or whatever. Like, you have to make effort to try and fix it. But if everyone's like, oh yeah, we don't care. And you're like, oh, but I this is really important to me. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't give a shit. Be like, oh yeah. If somebody will try and get everything from you, and like I've learned this over the years, that people will just try and get as much as they possibly can. And the problem is that's why you have to have those boundaries where you're like, this is my personal time. Just like I will say nothing positive about the French, but I will say that their work-life balance is beautiful. Okay. This is hey, it's August. I'm not working in August. You're like, oh, you're on vacation. You're like, no, it's August. I don't work.
Nobody's working in August.
Yeah. Everything's closed. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, I'm not. I August also have 4 weeks vacation for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
it is. Stay at home. Enjoy yourself.
One side tangent. Do you think hating the French is generational? Because I think growing up there was a lot of, I hate the French, and now I think different generations are like, hey, French, a lot of good things come from French fans.
We have different reasons to hate the French. So like boomers hate the French because they gave up during World War II, even though the boomers didn't fight in World War II. And then like for, millennials and kind of Xers, actually no, more Xers, I think, is the Iraq War, like freedom fries bullshit. You remember that? And then what do millennials have to hate the French for? They're kind of douchebags. Okay, whatever. It's fine.
It's like it goes down like a sort of.
In his case, because he's Canadian, Quebec. I
didn't even realize you're Canadian.
Worse. Okay, it's worse. Okay, I have to put up with Quebecois, which is not French. Let's be very clear. They are some sort of pig French people that is not a real language. Okay. Number 2 is I'm Greek. Okay, we gave the universe democracy, and the French destroyed it. Listen, the French killed all their royalty and instituted French democracy, which is not like Greek democracy. Okay, the principles of French democracy are the exact same things democracy is fighting for today. Their shit don't work, and they're really hoity-toity, and I don't like it. Those are the 3 things. Okay.
So you want a true republic as opposed to a representative democracy or something? Is that
no? So Greece created democracy where every vote counted of the populace, to the point where they would do things like a collective fuck off. In other words, everyone leaves the city, and the politicians are abandoned to do. Hey, either you go or we go. We'll leave first. Give you time to pack, and you can fuck off. right? There are people. The idea of banishing people into the wilderness is a great thing to do. Okay, I don't know why people don't realize this. You're like, hey, listen, you're such an asshole. You just gotta leave. I don't want you to die.
When you're part of a different community, sometimes you can get banished and you didn't do anything wrong. I'll just say that. You know,
hey, I went through my first divorce. I lost my family. I lost my friends. I lost my religion. I lost everything. It was all gone. And I was like, well, I'm still here. So I'm just going to go do stuff. No problem. Right. But that's, hey, if that happens, I am okay with, hey, I don't want anything bad to happen to you, but whatever's going to happen to you is just going to happen somewhere else because you can't be here. You got to go.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing that you were talking about where like the workers all leave the city, that continued on into Roman times. I forget the name of what it was called, but it was just like, okay, we're leaving. Bye. Good luck. And it's a general strike. And that's awesome.
Oh, you're the equivalent of a general strike. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they all fuck off and they're like, okay, you figure it out. Good luck. They don't know how to.
Like, listen, the idea of like, there are certain principles that work, right? Like healthcare should not be profitable, right? It should be very well funded, not profitable. Education, again, should be well funded, should not be profitable.
Because these are services, not businesses.
Right. And also,
USPS.
Look, being a politician is a public service. It is not a career. I'm sorry. Yeah. And being a lawyer does not qualify you to be anything. Not even a lawyer. Just so you know, becoming a lawyer doesn't qualify you to actually be a lawyer either. So being a lawyer, that just sucks.
I was going through my dad's ballot with him because he has Parkinson's, so writing is kind of a problem. So we're sitting there going through the ballot together, and it's so weird that the way to identify people on the ballot is either their party, which is like, okay, it's become a team sport at this point, or it says their job. What does that mean? Where it's just like, all right, this person's a lawyer. I'm like, that doesn't say anything about like their,
to be fair,
platform
they give you a voter guide on each of the
voter guide is always like a month and a half out of date though. That's the problem. So you got to go look up like, okay, I look up like about 4 or 5 different like progressive voter guides, and I sit there and go, okay, where's the like common threads between them all?
I think the state,
No,
in the state of California, they do give you like a supplementary voter guide that they give you on like, that's like a very, it's to my experience, the most nonpartisan ratings of different situations. Here's the pros and cons. Here's how people,
They do, but they print it like so far ahead that by the time it gets to you, things have changed. That's the problem that I have with
you mean their opinions and their stands have changed as opposed to who's there. Yeah.
I'm noticing a general trend on Dino and democracy.
Hey, I listen, I believe that workplaces, when they hit a certain point, they should all have healthcare for free and also a fight club in the basement. That's just my opinion. Listen, sometimes
fight club is optional. Don't talk about it. Yeah.
Listen, hey, the idea of people being capable is important to me, and I think that it is sometimes you can't have a discussion. We got to throw hands, and I think that should be allowed. Listen, and I'm not saying just willy-nilly punching people like animals. No, you need a head guard, you need teeth. No one's gonna ruin their veneers. Okay, you can have gloves. I'm just gonna throw a couple shots, and then we're gonna say, hey, listen, just calm down. Okay, everybody, listen, blew up some steam. I'm gonna relax.
My general stance is, I have opinions on how I think the world should work based off, my current understanding and what I think would work best. But I also think like the people kind of got to say in like how it goes too. So like I have an ideal in how if I would operate the world. One of the things is I've never owned a gun. I would never own a gun. So my stance is I would ban all guns. That's a position that doesn't work in a modern American society because of the conception that we have towards firearms, which is not great, but it's just sort of like something you have to accept. I can't change the opinions of those folks. And so like, I think in my terms of a democracy, I do have my beliefs, but it's like, I'm very cognizant of like, okay, we're not going to get all the way there in terms of like, healthcare and everything like that. Just because a lot of times it's because people don't care about other different communities. It's like, I want my community to have this stuff. I'll give my community the best possible. But if it goes to another community, hey, health,
I don't like that. Yeah. But that's the weird thing is that like there's a certain qualifying factor, I think, with that idea of, hey, you know what? At this point, I guess everyone's on board, so let's just do it. Versus as opposed to fighting because your principles are right, but that will burn you out because you're fighting a lost cause and you're just kind of going, okay, so what do I do here? Right. And I think that's like there, it's not giving up because like, hey, like you just said, you have your principles, I have my principles. There's nothing wrong with us having our own principles, but knowing full well that I don't have to involve that in my work life or XYZ. Is it possible?
What if your representative though is Manny Pacquiao? That happened in the Filipino community. So like, I can't just go, hey, let's. I disagree with you, sir. Let's have a fight. Let's see who wins. Oh, it's. I guess banning gay people is okay because Manny Pacquiao beat Jay Acquino up, and it was just how it went.
Well, because like I think what people don't seem to internalize is that like the world keeps going, so even if you lose you can still like pick yourself up and try and do it, or even better, bully your representatives into the policy positions you want. And when I say bully, I don't mean like Molotov cocktails necessarily for legal reasons, but also like just call their office over and over and curse them out. You are within your rights as a citizen to do that.
Different generations have different things of bullying. That's why you had to clarify it, because the bullying nowadays it's not something I would do. Maybe because I'm lazy, but also because like I don't. It's not my way of working in the world.
I tell my seniors. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say it's like, hey, I think bullying has a certain place in the universe, but holding your political representative accountable and challenging them on their perspective is better in the long run, because like realistically, politicians are surrounded by people that may not have the best interests of their constituents in mind, right? That's and I don't say that in directed at anyone in general. Is sometimes you have what is it? The guys, the lobbyists, right, will have their own interests that they're in mind, and you're going, that's why it's hearing from their community and saying, hey, you said you wanted this. I don't agree with that. Can you explain to me why that? Because I voted for you, and I want to know why you're saying that when you said this before. Tell me.
Yeah,
that's a reasonable thing.
The people in Utah who are fighting against Kevin O'Leary's like data center in the middle of the desert that's probably gonna like destroy the ecosystem. That's bullying their politicians to be going to like city council meetings and yelling shame like it's Game of Thrones over and over and over again, because like that's the social contract. You can go to city council meetings and tell them to fuck themselves.
Yes.
Because you're burnt out.
The bullying I'm disagreeing with is like there's also a contingent about like visiting people's homes.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like, but it's just like there's just like there's a fine line if you don't tell people what's right and what's wrong, or if you don't have your own like threshold. You all think you're all on the same page, and that's like where populism comes in, where it's like there's a populist reaction in terms of like here's how we help out people of different groups, but then there's like an overreaction. Oh, let's go kill these people, and then there's an underreaction. Like, okay, let's write a strongly worded letter. We gotta bump it up from strongly worded letter, but bump it down from
let's kill them.
That's not my opinion. I mean, amongst comedians, people really love it when people get shot in comedian thing. It's not something I agree with.
I'm just saying, what you're looking for is a happy medium. Such as exile. It's an exile. Just, hey, you gotta go. I'm telling you, the Greeks knew what we were doing. Okay?
I feel like for a lot of the more like deserted parts of the country, you could start a cottage industry. Exiled because you're an asshole, come stay at my, hostel, hotel, whatever.
I think you'd get booked up too quick. you'd get full really
Maybe.
fast. Like it would.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, you have like, hey, man, there's a lot of you because a lot of you are assholes. We're gonna keep this moving. So, go like a few miles down the road. Yeah.
Technically, what you have to create is a disassembly line for assholes. That's what you're doing. That's to try and become one with nature and then never talk to anyone again. So Victoria says, no guns. Guess we're all going into combat training with archery and martial arts. I mean, yeah.
Probably for the best, Victoria. We have antiseptic now. It's not going to end up like Richard the Lionheart.
My gun policy is based off of my policy. I don't like getting shot. That's only my policy. So
understandable.
I don't get...
Can I offer in exchange for your I don't want to get shot is gun training and a vest. Just saying, it could be, you could bedazzle it. There's things you could do for it. It may work. Just happy medium. No exile. Just,
you can get shot in the head, right? And then like the arms.
There are decorative hats that you can get.
I've seen enough movies where it's like, oh man, like Iron Man's got this thing on, you just shoot it, and then all of a sudden it hits him, and it's like, of course he didn't have his eye slits open.
I would totally like. I could see like a shitty early 2000s CGI thing where someone has a bulletproof vest and you follow the bullet and it goes like through the armpit and then hits all of the important organs and comes out.
You made the bullet curve and it curved right around the vest, and then that's how it.
I could very easily see them doing like PlayStation 1 graphic thing just to be like, we got him or whatever. I don't know.
Honestly, all I can picture in my mind is a Mr. Bean sketch where he walks in front of a firing range. And he isn't hurt, but he has like random flasks and random pockets all over his body, and they caught all the bullets. And he's like, oh, "Who knew?" And just
I mean, like,
like 19 of them all over his body.
When he got shot, because he had a speech in a metal glasses case in his breast pocket, and the guy shot him right there. I mean,
alcoholism makes you bulletproof.
Going back to that previous comment, though, I want to say my point about gun control was not about actually what I want. It's that I accept, and I live in a society, unfortunately in America at least, where that is acceptable because that's where the public consensus is and probably will be over the course of my lifetime. It's like I'm not gonna spend, there's certain things I'll fight for gun control in terms of like less of this particular firearm and then more restrictive, but like I can't ban all guns. It's not going to happen within my lifetime. I'm pretty sure I can't.
I don't think that's going to happen. You can't pull an Oda. You can't pull a like Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and be like, we're going to collect them all. That's not going to work.
Well, this is the hard part, right? Is where who gets them? Military, okay. Police. What about the bad guys, right? Like, it's a very shitty situation. Don't get me wrong, but I'd rather be. Well, let's be honest. I'd rather be part of the problem than the solution. That's just my mind.
Yeah.
I have this face that goes with it. No one's expecting me to be all kindness and happy. It's just, it's not.
Actually, I have the exact opposite problem. It's always like, this guy has never gotten in a fight in his life. This guy has never, this guy's not a part of any fight clubs at his work, unfortunately. So.
Little do they know. Sometimes you just have to throw down. That's fine. I mean,
but I think overall, it's one of those things. We have to agree to disagree on some of these things too, and like that's a part of the problem where it's like the threshold of it is like if you have like if I disagree with you, I have to kill you, and then I write a strongly worded email. It's like a different
I was always under the impression that's ridiculous, right? Like you can, if we have a difference of opinion, we can have a discussion. Maybe we'll both learn each other's sides. We can still not like it. That's okay. We can still also be friends. That is a completely reasonable. Hey, we have difference of opinions. Why? Because we're different people. That's just life,
There's also the paradox of tolerance, which is like if you are tolerant of everybody to a fault, eventually the intolerant will overtake that. Like, hey man, let's hear the Nazi out. Don't do that.
Oh, that's why you have Jim out here. Is like bad guys have rights too. That's the first mistake. No, they don't. They're bad guys. They don't have rights or morals or principles. There you go. Immediately.
No, but
Dino.
on your were you gonna say about I forgot what you're saying, but you're saying something about
paradox of tolerance.
Tolerance, yeah. I mean, I think tolerance. It's also it's about what I have like a friend that he's been very progressive, and he's been becoming more progressive. And then like we were talking the other day about like how could you associate with this person? This happened to be I think it's like we were talking about like wrestlers that happen to be conservatives. Like how could you like this wrestler? Like, well, it's just like I imagine like most of these people are rich. Some of them will probably want to have lower taxes. So most of them, half of them will probably be Republicans. But then I was talking to him. I was like, my favorite coworkers also happens to be conservative. It's like, well, how can you that'd be your favorite? Well, because when we work together, it's really good. It's just that when we talk about politics, we disagree, which is fine. That's something that like I grew up with, and then that's kind of been lost over the time. It's kind of like, hey, if you don't agree with someone and there's a negative perspective, but like people, I don't know. I'm a little bit optimistic on that thing because like I used to work in campaigns. Like whole point of campaigns is people's opinions can change. You can talk to anybody long enough, and you can just even if you just move them a little, it's still you've made a little bit of a difference. That's how you, anyways.
I got my dad to vote for Nithya Raman after 15 minutes of talking to him because he was like, I don't like Karen Bass. What do I do? And he's like, and Spencer Pratt fucking sucks. So help me pick someone. And I'm like, okay, I technically like Ray the most, but she has like 5% and jungle primaries are some bullshit. So let me introduce you to Nithya Raman. I got him to vote for her. So
I actually like jungle primaries.
I don't.
Because it's like, no, you can go first.
That was it. I just hate him. No, that's it.
Because like in other systems, we had the 2-tier primary systems, and it's not. It's been like challenging. It's one of the ways that in California we've really changed things, where we've made it so that way the top 2 candidates can win, and then you move on to the general, and they continue a situation where you have like a legit, because California tends to generally go blue. So like in the Senate races, we've had 2 different types of progressives or liberals in the race, and then therefore you get to see like, is it conservative liberalism, is it progressive liberalism, and that type of thing. And it's like, well, you have 2 cases, and you really get to see which one gets to win out. So
I can see Dino starting to fall asleep, so I'm just going to say ranked choice voting is the best. Jay, thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan. Where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
I am on the Jay Acquino on all social media: Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, Facebook. I'm not really on Facebook, but the Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching the show. Follow us at Generation Dan wherever fine social medias are found. Follow me at Atlas Novack and all those places. I think my TikTok is shadow banned ? Every video that I put out doesn't get pushed on the For You page, but when I checked the like am I shadow banned thing, it doesn't say anything. Like it doesn't say anything's wrong, and my comments are still visible. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. I might make a new one. Who knows? Or check out my other show, Nexus at Night, that streams every Friday at 7 p.m. on YouTube Pacific time. How about you, Dino?
Very nice. I am Dino the Genetic Marvel. I have started building more Lego and stuff. As you can see, they're right here with this Lamborghini. It's very exciting. Also, I have a bunch of shows and things happening. And also, Atlas, I want to let you know I voted for Spencer Pratt. So just, it's okay. Just a mail-in ballot. It's fine. Okay.
I voted for Jared Bass. So we're all on different.
What a ridiculous thing. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everyone. Have a good
day, everybody.
Bye.